All right. Welcome, everybody, to another Western Section Little Tickler. And today I have Mr. Dan Neeser from Eaton's Busman Division. And he's going to be talking about basic motor installation requirements on September 22nd. The registration for his event is down below. The registration for the entire week is down below. I encourage you to register. All IEI members get a special discount. So if you haven't already been contacted about your discount, let me know and I'll help you out with that. Dan, why the heck would somebody want to listen to Dan Neeser for 2 hours talking about motors?
You know, Tom, that is a great question, but thanks for having me on. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. For those of you who perhaps haven't had the chance to meet me, my name is Dan Neeser. I'm a senior field application engineer for the Busman Division. I basically cover the Midwest area. And then in my free time, I work on codes and standards. So I'm a member of the Code Making Panel 13, which covers what I would call the critical systems, fire pumps, generators, emergency systems, so forth. But I've always had a love for motor protection. And so this is one of my favorite presentations to give. What we're going to do is we're going to break down the different components that can go into a motor circuit. One reason, and I'll borrow from one of my favorite instructors from the past was, motor circuits are so complex because we can have so many different parts of the puzzle doing different pieces. And so we'll talk about how to size the conductors, how to size the overload relays, how to size the branch circuit ratings, what controller requirements do you have to be concerned with, what are the different types of controllers, and not only will we give you the requirements and how to size breakers and fuses for motor circuits or the overload relay, but we'll also go into those devices. So we'll show you what a contactor is. We'll talk about what a drive is and perhaps maybe some special considerations for drives. So it's going to be a really in-depth overview of the entire basic motor circuits, and then after that we're going to go into the feeder requirements. So how do you size the feeder for a group of motors? And we'll talk through those as well. And of course, we'll incorporate some examples into the discussion.
Dan, I know I've been corrected a couple times when I was said motor protection, and I know you and Tim Cernko and others would say no, it's motor circuit protection. What's the difference?
Well, again, if you look at the protection of the motor, we're going to be just talking about the overload protection, right? That's really the one concept. But when you look at the motor circuit protection, we're talking about the motors, the conductors, the contactors. Now, one thing, I'm not going to probably get into, but we talk about short circuit current ratings, and that's a big topic of discussion for us. So, those components have a short circuit current rating that might be dependent upon a specific fuse or breaker. So for instance, a variable speed drive, for instance, that has sensitive electronics in it. And so we really need a very current limiting device to protect that. So in some cases, we might have to use a class J fuse because of its inherent current limiting ability. In some cases, we might have to use special fuses we call high-speed fuses to provide that protection. And that's what I'll talk about in this. When we talk about drives, I'll talk about, the drive manufacturer might say you could use a circuit breaker, you could use a fuse, you could use what's called a Type B starter, an MCP, for instance, but they recommend, then you go to the recommended section, right, in the back of the book. And that says, well, that's where you want to use this Class J fuse, or you want to use this 170M Busman high-speed fuse. So that's kind of the little tidbits of knowledge I want to give to the audience.
And you're going to be referencing the 2020 version?
Yes, and I will talk. There's not major changes in that, but I'll certainly highlight any changes that are new for the 2020 code.
So you'll be primarily in Article 430?
Yep, exactly.
That's a big article.
It is, absolutely.
And I was just talking to Donnie Cook today about Article 440, which you think about 440 is your HVAC. There's still motors in Article 440 as well, right? I mean, that type of equipment. So motors are everywhere, but but we focus on the motors and the motor controllers in 430. But when you start putting motors in things like HVAC, equipment, that's a different article, right?
It is. Well, and then you kind of get more into custom equipment. You know, I call on a lot of OEMs who make industrial control panels for the more complex chillers and that kind of stuff. So that's where you get a lot. You use different devices as well, as
Right.
opposed to just an enclosed combination motor controller.
Cool beans. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. So your session is on from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern time on the 22nd. That's Tuesday of the week of the Western section, right?
Correct. Yes. Right and early in the morning.
Bright and early in the morning, and you're out of St. Louis, right?
Yes. So for me, it's perfect.
Is it Missouri or is it Missouri?
Missouri.
Missouri. Okay. Okay. I learned that from Vince Saporita. And, you know, now let me ask you, okay, you're going to go on the record here. This is going to be recorded on YouTube and for everybody to see forever. What is your opinion of Provel cheese?
I am a huge fan of Provel. Huge. Especially on pizza. It's the best.
Not
It
good.
is the best. I'm a true St. Louis pizza fan.
All right. Well, the food I loved in St. Louis was ooey gooey butter cake.
That was, you know, and that was truly a mistake, right? It was a mistake it was a happy mistake.
Well, and I think, in my opinion, I think Provel was a mistake too, but by the petrochem industry.
That might be the case.
Beautiful. Well,
Yep.
hopefully everybody understands how to register. The links are down below for the whole week. And we are doing an IAEI member discount. So if you're an IAEI member and you didn't get the email, you can contact me or anybody on the Western Section Board. We'll be able to give you that registration code, they call that a promo code when you register.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would recommend that they register for the entire series. Quite frankly, they'll save money that way as well. And I think you're going to have, as you'll see, you're going to have excellent presenters and panel discussions here. So well worth the investment. It's spread out over the week, so it's perfect.
Yeah, and registration is we opened it up. I think it was last week, and it's been going pretty good. So get your orders in. We only have like 5,000 seats, so get in there now so that we don't run out of seats. Right? Once we hit 4,999, I'm not bumping it up. I'm just saying.
Exactly. And again, I can't encourage enough to register for all the sessions. Take a look at that, because that way you don't want to register for one and then you have to buy the whole runs, right? I mean, you don't want to get in that situation.
Yep. And we're doing CEU credits for every one of those. So it's and when you look at how if you do the whole program, we're doing 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. So 4 hours a day, 4 days in a row, plus another 2 hours. So that's 18 hours of CEU credits for that week. And we did the 10 to 12, we did 2 to 4. Now, the other thing that we're doing, and I don't know if you know this, Dan, 12:30 to 1:30, we're going to have vendors on. And
that's excellent.
So we're soliciting vendors to do 15-minute time slots, or they could buy 2 time slots. I'm not sure how Mike Forster is going to be doing that, but we're going to have the vendors to get their support and get them in front of inspectors. And those sessions, though, are going to be live and for anybody on YouTube, and we're going to leave those up on YouTube as well.
So it's basically a virtual trade show.
It's exactly right. You're going to have it's virtual booth time, right? And you can ask them questions and things like that. The other cool thing we're doing is in the evening we're having a virtual R&R ranch.
I like that.
Yes. So and then now the first night, Monday night, we're going to have Larry Ayer, who's going to be talking about he's the Core Lane Committee chair for the National Electrical Code and a bunch of other NFPA documents. So he's going to be talking about what he sees on the horizon and where he sees the code going. And 2023 code cycle is going to the inputs close September 10th. He'll probably be able to tell us how many public inputs are in there and all that good stuff. So that'll be a good discussion. I'm going to try to get I might try to get a few other Core Lane Committee members engaged with that as well.
He's going to be your keynote speaker.
Yeah, that's right, the keynote speaker. Yeah. And then Tuesday night and Thursday night will be 2 more R&R Ranch events, virtual R&R ranches. I haven't lined up yet those speakers for those, or even if I did, I wouldn't want to tell you now
Yeah.
to
Well, you
get
know what the bourbon night is? I think we should have a theme. You know,
Oh,
one day night is maybe beer night, then you have bourbon night.
I like it.
Yeah,
And I gotta ask Larry. Maybe it's the drink of preference of the keynote for that evening.
there you go.
There we
Scotch
go. I know if it's Johnston, it's probably going to be bourbon or wine.
or red wine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
red wine. Yeah. Oh, that's not a bad idea. I will have a theme,
I'm giving you, gold nuggets here for you.
and you're not even charging me for it.
Exactly. All free.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I think we've probably worn out our time. Tom Moore is watching online right now, so thanks, Tom, for tuning in.
Tom, hope you're doing well.
He's doing. He is the man. I'm telling you. You know what's funny is between him and Tim McClintock, Mike Forrester. I've never engaged as much as I have this year with Mike, as because I haven't been as involved with coordinating things. But Mike's great to work with. Don
That's gonna be
Iverson.
the biggest thing we'll miss, without question, is those interactions.
Absolutely. But the other good thing is we had this discussion. This is not going to replace the face-to-face meetings.
Of course.
Right. So next year, what I think, and we've been talking about this, is there's probably going to be a digital, something digital along with the in-person stuff going on next year for the section meetings. It would be foolish to not take advantage of everything that we've learned during this COVID crisis and shelter-in-place world of this digital world, to not marry in person with some online experience for those who could not make it to the section meeting.
Without question.
Yeah.
I think we have to do that, or else we've just wasted 6 months. Right.
I know. Man, it seems like forever. I haven't seen a plane in I don't know how long, which I'm not complaining about.
Yeah, I don't miss that part.
Don't miss that part. All right, and don't miss Dan Neeser on September 22nd from 10 to 12. Basic motor installation requirements, registrations down below. Hit the entire week. It's very inexpensive. You'll get a lot of value for the money that you're going to spend for this, not only just the CEU credits, but we've got people like Chad Kennedy from Schneider Electric. He's also on panel 13. He's involved with heavily codes and standards. We got Don Iverson, who's on panel 3, I think now, and he's also with Schneider. He's on one of our code panels. We got Tom Moore, who's going to be out there. What's his name? Tim McClintock. He's going to be hosting the code panel. And if people haven't seen the code panel, which I think a lot of people who haven't gone to an IEI event probably don't even know what I'm talking about with the code panel. So the code panel is answering code questions. We've got a panel of 4 people, and Tim McClintock he's our NEMA field rep. He's going to moderate that. And some of the hardest questions are answered by these group of individuals. So that's where I learned to code, going to these meetings and listen to those.
Well, and then you also learn who to go to for expertise, right?
Yep.
When you do have a question, and again, I want to promote my session as well, because I guarantee you will learn something that you didn't know before in my session. It's going to be a great combination of code language, practical application, and devices. So definitely get registered right now.
Absolutely. Act now.
Now.
All right. So I'm going to stop streaming here, Dan, but you hang on. Thanks, everybody out there, for joining in on this short session, a discussion with the presenter, Mr. Dan Neeser from Eaton's Busman Division. He's going to be talking about motor installation requirements. Register down below. Thanks. Have a good, safe day, and stay healthy. Thanks for stopping by.
All the best to you guys.
Amen, brother.